Hey guys, welcome to TuxTube, and today I will install ArchLinux. So without wasting any time, let's begin. I have successfully booted up the Arch ISO, and now I will do the three steps. First, I will install the SSH, I will enable it, and then I will set a root password. So first of all, catman -sy open SSH. Now I will create a password. And now I will enable the SSH service. So for that, system TTL enable latest now SSHD and hit enter. So SSH is now enabled, but to get into the SSH we need the IP address. For that I will do IP dash space S space A and hit enter. So as you can see, the inet IP address, we need that to get into the SSH. So I will move to the main terminal and type SSH root the rate 192.168.122.211 and hit enter. I will type yes here and the password. We have successfully get into the SSH. Now let's clear the terminal. So first of all, I will type lsblk to check the drive. So we have VDA of 40 gigabyte. So we need to partition that. So I will use cfdisk to partition the drive. I'm creating a GPT partition, and now the first partition will be 300 megabytes. The next partition will be 1 gigabyte. It will be used for the swap. The rest will be the root partition. I will write it out. Exit. So we can see that we have three partitions. So we need to format them. First, for the EFI partition, we need to format the drive in FAT partition in FAT file system. So mkfs.fat-deb/bda1 and hit enter. The second partition, which is the swap, we need to do is mk-swap dev/bda2. For our third partition, I will use BTRFS for today's video. So mkfs.betterfs /dev/bda and hit enter. So all our partitions are now formatted. So now let's mount the VDA3 partition and create the subvolumes. Now for creating subvolume, what I will do is BTRFS subvolume create /mnt/act or @. Now similarly, I will create the home, snapshot and warlock partition for subvolume. Now I will unmount the /mnt. So basically what I have done is I have created the subvolumes for our partition. Now I will mount them one by one. First of all, let's mount the top level partition, that is /mnt /a at the rate. Right. So mount -o no wait time compress equals to zstd. If you have SSD, you can use the SSD flag. Since I'm using on a virtual machine, I won't be needing that. So let's continue to base dash equals to version 2 vol equals to at the rate, mount this to our MNT partition. So now what we have to do is we have to create the home, snapshots and word of directory so that we can mount our sub volumes. So now mkdir -p -mnt / curly braces. First one will be boot /EFI for our EFI partition. Then it will be home, and then dot snapshots, and the last word log. Now I will hit enter. Let's pull up the command and mount our sub volumes. And now it's moving forward. We have to mount the EFI partition. Mount BTA1 to MNT boot EFI. And the final one, the swap, we need to turn on the swap using swap on BTA2. And hit enter. So let's clear the screen and type lsblk. So every partition is now mounted with the respective sub volumes. And now what I do before installing is playing around with the pacman.com. So bin let's see pacman.com and hit enter. Here I untag all the commands, all the flags that I love to use, and increasing the parallel downloads to 20. Also I will use the flag I love Kdenlive for the pacman progress bar. And also I will uncomment the multilib. Let's see. So before installing the base system, we need to synchronize our repo. Okay, pacman-sy. And now let's install. So for installing the base packages, we have to do is pack -mnt base Linux firmware. Also, if you have Intel processor, you will install Intel-U code. If you have AMD processor, you will use AMD-U code. Also, I will install vim and git, and now I will hit enter. And let's wait for the process to end. So the base packages are now installed. Now we have to generate the fs tab file. For that, gen fs tab -u as in uuid -mnt. We will append this to mnt/hc/fstep and hit enter. So let's check if everything worked well. cat-mnt/hc/fstep. So everything went well. All our drives and subvolumes are now on the fstep file. So now let's get into the installation. So for that, arch-chroot or chroot-mnt. So now, first of all, we need to set the time zone. So for that, ln-sf. So we are basically going to create a symbolic link for our time zone. So ln-sf space user here zone info. So I am basically from Asia, and the closest time zone from my location is Kolkata. And we will link this to HC local time and hit enter. Then we will do is HW clock or hardware clock dash is to HC. Also time date CTL set NTP to and hit enter. What it will do is it will sync our time with the network time protocol. Now let's edit the local.gen file using vim and hit enter and search for your local. So I will select this one and hit enter. Now let's create the local.com file. Let's see local.com. Here I will type lang or language equals to en_us.utf-8. We'll save it. Now let's generate the local file. For that, local-gen and hit enter. So locals are now generated. Now we will create a host name. For that, pm hc host name and hit enter. So you can give any host name you can. I will give it ArchLinux. We'll exit it here. Now we will create the host file. Enter now. The new line I will type 127.0.0.1. hit tab and now local host. The next line I will type ::1 2 times tab local host. On the third line I will type 127.0.1.1 tab ArchLinux.local domain tab ArchLinux. We'll exit out from that. So we have created our local.com. We have generated the local file. We have created a host name, and also we have generated the host file. Now we will give a password to the root using the password command. Hit enter. And again I will change the pacman.com file in the inside of the installation. So now we have to install a few packages. So for that, pacman-s, we install grub, install grub-BTRFS, install BTRFS, logs, EFI boot mgr, network manager, network dash manager dash applet, FS tools, and tools, wp underscore applicant, xdg utils, xdg dash user dash ders or directories, also base devel and Linux headers. Also, since I'm using a virtual machine, I won't be installing the Pulse Audio and ELSA packages. So now I will hit enter. Made a mistake here. And tools. Now hit enter. Again. So all our packages are now installed. Now let's install grub. In grub dash install target. So since it's a EFI system, so will be target equals to x86 underscore 64 dash EFI dash EFI directory is boot dash EFI, also dash bootloader ID equals to arch. Hit enter. And also now we will configure the grub.cfg file. So for that, grub dash mkconfig dash o boot grub.cfg. Now hit enter. Great. So let's clear the terminal. First of all, we will enable the network manager. Now we will create a user which is not root. So in simpler word, we will create a standard user now. For that, user add dash mg. We'll put this on a wheel group and I will name it Archie, which is my name. Hit enter. Let's give it a password. In the password command, now we'll type the username here. And also we will edit the pi sudo file. So vim sudo and hit enter. And we will look for the wheel group command that starts with wheel, which is here. Edit and uncomment it. So we are basically done here. So what I will do right now is I will reboot the system. Before that, we will unmount all the partitions for that, and also I will exit out from the installation unmount every partition, and now I will reboot. So we are getting a grub menu, so which means we have successfully installed the ArchLinux. So I will log in with the username Archie, but not as root this time. And again, I will type IP space A and hit enter. And again, I will go to the SSH. Oh, I did not install the SSH there. So for installing SSH, you know that sudo pacman-sy open SSH no confirm and hit enter. Let's start the SSH in sudo systemctl systemctl enable now sshd and hit enter. And now I will try login SSH. This time it should work. So now we need to install Xorg or login manager and a desktop. So for today I will install KDE, and because I'm missing KDE very much and I want to do some customizations that I used to do when I used KDE few years back. So now for that, but first of all I will install Paru. For that I will git clone https paur.linux.org paru dash. Let's cd into paru and make pkg-si and hit enter. So Paru is now installed. So now let's install our packages. Paru-sy xorg and plasma desktop sddl and hit enter. I will select all the default ones. Now let's wait for the process to end. So everything went well. The pre-packages are now installed. The last thing I will do is I will enable the SDDM. For that, sudo systemctl enable SDDM. So I will restart the virtual machine one more time, and if everything works well, we will create it with the SDDM login manager. Hit enter. So let's reboot it. So we are having a slight issue with the CPU, I guess. So for that I will force off it right now. Go to the PTO QXL, check the bar tile, and now let's start it. This time it should work. So let's hit enter here and let's see if the SDDM starts. Okay, so we have been greeted with the SDDM login manager. Let's log in. So the first thing I will do is I will go to the settings, change the resolution. But first, since we are on the virtual machine, we'll turn off the compositor. Yes, it's not possible here. Okay, so let's start the console. Console is not installed. Okay, it's going to be tough. No worries. What I will do is right now, I will select anyone from here. I will select Ctrl Alt F3. So we will jump to the TTY, and from here we will log in and install some of our packages. First, we will install sudo pacman-s console and hit enter. Now we will jump into the prompt. It's the 7 or 1. Let's see if our console is here. Yes. So first of all, what I will do is I will type xrender or xrndr, and we will select our resolution here, which is 1920 by 1080. For setting the resolution, what I will do, xrndr-s 1920 by 1080 and hit enter. Here small s, capital, enter, and the resolution is now Right. So I will show the customization in my next video, and this is the ArchLinux installation, very short and simple way. Just one simple trick, always try to enable the parallel downloads and set it to whatever download speed you want. This will basically speed up the installation. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.